Well, listeners, we promised you a plethora of brand new music tonight on Subculture After Dark, and that is continuing right now. We've got some brand new music from Brisbane outfit Citadel. This is an amazing new single called Nightmare Frontier, and we thought, you know what? We want to know a little bit more about this track, so we thought we would actually get one of the members on the phone to chat about this amazing new track. Welcome to the show, Russell.
Thank you so much, Dave. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, mate, this is an amazing new track. I was wondering if you could tell our listeners a little bit about this track, what it's written about, and how it's come into being.
So we wanted to write a song that took us a little bit further into sort of some metalcore genres. It was a little bit more palatable for a lot of people we know personally, instead of just trying to faff about doing what we did on our album. Nightmare Frontier, we decided to have some really dark elements themed from actually a video game called Bloodborne, and Nightmare Frontier is a level in that game, so we kind of went with using some imagery from that to create the soundscape. Lyrically, the song is sort of based on my learnings, I suppose, about my own potential neurodivergence. Been learning a lot about ADHD and why my brain works certain ways, and the frustrations that have come with that, and learning things about myself, and that not always being a good thing. That even though I know that here's all these reasons why these bad things are happening, I still can't change it. So just sort of got a bit of that in that song.
You mentioned about the frustrations of learning more about ADHD and also about yourself. Did that make this a difficult song to write, or did that make this an easier song to write because it was about such a personal thing for you?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Actually, it did kind of make it a little bit more difficult. In particular, like, this is a kind of a new thing that I've learned about myself, and I haven't fully gotten like a diagnosis yet, and I didn't want to like start claiming all this stuff when there's people that have had diagnoses for their entire lives, and I didn't want to, like, I suppose, belittle them by claiming this thing for my own, because I have bad attention, bad discipline. But it did make it really difficult to try and like lean into that when I was writing the lyrics, and not try to I don't know, I didn't want to come across any certain way to anybody. At the same time, it was also just difficult to really put into words how I'd felt about, I guess, myself with that sort of thing, and then also putting into words as well how other people might see me if I were to have a diagnosis or anything like that.
Yeah. Do you think a lot of people out there will also relate to this song as well?
Oh, man, I hope so. Everyone's journey is so unique. I don't know if putting my thoughts into words is super relatable, but I'd genuinely really love to hear from anyone that did find it relatable, even just certain aspects of it. I would sure hope so. Otherwise, realistically, if I'm writing down these words, what's the point other than self-gratification, and it gets all a little bit too silly.
Yeah. That time when you're doing that self-investigation and before the diagnosis, it's such a weird time. I did the same when people started to say to me, are you sure that you don't suffer from anxiety? And I was kind of like, I don't think so. But then the more I read about it, the more I found the symptoms added up. And then eventually I was diagnosed with anxiety. And as I told some people that didn't know, they went, oh, we could have told you that years ago. But it's such a weird personal journey, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's one of my favorite things about this. Is just like, I'll just talk to somebody about it and just be like, I've been thinking like I might have this, and somebody's like, oh yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, cool, thanks so much. That would have really helped a few years ago, but at the same time, I don't know if I would have believed them. And it's probably similar to you. You don't want, if you haven't been like told that as a kid, there were other kids that had that, and you didn't, or other people around you that had that and you didn't, and so it's like, for me, I drew a line in the sand. I was like, that's not me. But now we're here, and yeah, everyone's doing not everyone, some people are doing a really similar thing.
Bringing it back to the music, you talked a little bit as well about the the new kind of fresh sound that the band has gone for this time around as well. Tell us a little bit about that transition.
Yeah, early Citadel. The first 9 songs we put out on our debut album, we were just jamming through through COVID, and we thought we'd just put together whatever it was. We took a lot of influence from Sleep Token, but then trying to add it into some more standard stuff that we listened to, and then it came out with whatever the album was. And we realized that, when you start getting a little bit maybe a little bit too weird, like not aiming too far into one direction, it can alienate some people from the music. And it's not like we're writing music specifically for a subgenre or anything, but at the same time, we're like, there's people that are just going to like a song that has a couple of cool breakdowns, some faster pacing, and that's sort of where we're trying to lean into as well, a bit of faster pacing, a little bit more energy, something that you really want to listen to when you go to the gym, and something that hypes you up when you go and see us live.
Russell, did you feel any pressure with the new music as well? Of course, the debut album was received so well. You were a finalist with the Queensland Music Awards. You guys achieved so much in such a short period of time. Did you feel any pressure when you started to work on new music?
Look, a little bit for me. I don't know if I can say for the other guys, but we knew this was important. Getting it to the right people as well, but at the same time, we're all really confident in our abilities. We know we can write some cool stuff, and we can show off. We've got one of the best drummers in Australia, I would say. And it's cool. That's the first time you've been on one of Citadel's tracks. Just go and kill it. So that kind of relieves some pressure, but at the same time, the pressure was more so on when the song was out, not as much as creating the song, because we know who we are and what we can do.
Definitely. So where to now for the band? What have you guys got planned for the rest of this year going into next year?
Yeah, there's a few things we were hoping for. We were hoping to get on Big Sound, but first releases come out and we didn't make that, so that sort of changed our plans a little bit. We are, I don't know if it's secret, but it's not anymore. We're currently in the studio. I just tracked a song today, so we're working on a few songs. I'll keep that much in wraps. Not another album right now. But we're working on some music, and then we're going to have a look at our schedule, work on the team behind Citadel, because we've got a lot of people that help make it all work, and we like to get a lot of opinions before we do too much. And just sort of work a little bit on ourselves, our sound, and what we're going to do with our music, which is a big thing these days, where we're going to take it, who's going to listen, and why are they going to listen.
Awesome. Well, mate, we're going to play Nightmare Frontier on our show right now. So what would you like to say to everybody out there who's listening and about to hear this track for the first time?
Yeah, I just hope you think it's sick. It's cool that people might feel things when they listen to music. Lyrics are such a fickle thing. So, man, if anybody hears it and they're like, hey, man, same, I would love to hear that. But just if anybody likes it, shoot us a message, follow us on Instagram, jump up on Spotify. We got 10 songs out there, and we'd love to know what you think. We appreciate every single person that listens to our music, because, man, there's so much of it, and just the fact that, for instance, you're giving us your time, if they give us their time, it's unreal. So we really appreciate anybody that's listening, and it means the world.
Well, I'm sure a lot of our listeners will reach out to you, mate. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat to us tonight, and thank you for touching on such personal issues as well. I'm going to play Nightmare Frontier right now by Citadel, so thank you so much, mate.
I appreciate you guys, and I hope you love it.